Really quick, everybody, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see when I post new videos like these. Enjoy! All right, guys, welcome into another breathing style yoga class, or I could call it yoga-inspired breathing, because we do some other breathing techniques as well in here, but for the most part is yoga or yoga adjacent at least. All right, so here we are. We've got a couple of different postures to start with. On the floor, just kind of seated, upright. I'm going to do a slightly shorter warm-up today so we can get to the movement combinations. Wiggle the toes, move the wrists, and warm up however you like to. If you are in a chair, I do recommend facing a wall. And that's just because of some of the moves that we'll do today. We'll actually use our hands on the wall like this and stuff. So if you don't have good access wherever you're at to a wall, you might be able to close a door and put your hands on a door sitting at a chair. If you're at the floor, you're fine. You can just use your hands on the floor. So two different options here, seated or floor. Again, just start to warm up everything, roll the wrists, move the elbows. We want to make sure everything is kind of awake, right? Getting the flow through the body. Roll the shoulders a couple times at least, both directions. Maybe bend and extend the knees. Ooh, and then the one that I really like, imagine you're sitting your bottom on the sand and you're trying to burrow deeper into the sand, just using your bottom. So kind of wiggle the hips front to back. If you're on the floor, here's what that looks like. I put my hands down behind me and I just kind of wiggle my bottom, moving your pelvic bone there, left and right, front to back. All right, and I think we're warmed up with the body. Let's warm up our breathing. Here we are. In through the nose if you can, and out through the mouth. So there's tons of great reasons to breathe in through the nose. One, the nose is a good filtering system with hair and mucus. Two, the nose helps to regulate the temperature of air coming into the body because it's a longer pipeline than the mouth, right, to get to your lungs. And three, my favorite reason for breathing in through the nose, breathing in through the nose produces nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is a dilator of the blood vessels and bronchioles. So this helps to deliver more oxygen and nutrients throughout the body, right? Opened up blood vessels, more flow. So breathing in through the nose is great if you can. Now I get it, some people stuffed up, or it's the morning, or you've got allergies, or just structurally, right? Maybe you've got an injury in there. And it's just not easy to breathe in through your nose. Do the best you can, even if it's only 10 or 20% of the air coming into your body. Get some of it in through your nose if you can get any. All right, a couple more times here. Start to rise with the chest. And fall as you exhale. In and rise. And fall. All right, our first move here, I'm actually going to get on my hands and knees if you're on the floor. And this is our breathing cat-cow series. So here's what that would look like, and I'll show you at the wall as well. Sorry, in the chair at the wall, both. Hands underneath the shoulders, right? Knees underneath the hips, and make that comfortable for yourself. You don't need to be so squared off like a box, right? If your knees want to be higher up or closer to your hands, that's fine with me. If they want to be farther away, right? Listen to your body, listen to your knees. Listen to your wrists. If you'd rather make fists, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with deviating from some traditionality if it feels better for your body, okay? So here we are. As I breathe in, I'm going to bring my nose up, tail up, and I kind of push my ribs down here. So my ribs are going down. As I breathe in, I look up. As I exhale, I'm going to round the back. It's okay to make some sound as we exhale. Inhale coming up. And exhale, rounding. So that's our cow, cat, cat, cow combination with breathing. If you're on the floor and you're enjoying that portion, go ahead and stick with that. You're getting a lot of spinal flexion and extension here. If you're in a chair facing a wall or a door, some kind of object, hopefully, scoot to the edge of your chair so your back isn't right clunking up against the backrest. We want to sit at the edge. You can put your hands in front of you onto the wall, and I'm going to have fairly straight arms here. You don't need to lock out the elbows though, just a little bit unlock, and make it just a little bit springy, like you could push off of the wall, okay? Then I'm going to press my weight into my hands just a little bit, and when I breathe in, tilt my nose up, and my ribs push forward. The tail, right, if you had a tail, would flare upward as you breathe in. Exhale and unwind and start to round the back, tucking the tail, and the spine comes back away from the wall, right? As we inhale, we look up, tail flares up, ribs go forward. Exhale and unwind, rounding at the back. All right, I'm going to go with a rhythm here, a timing. You're welcome to join me in my rhythm, or you go your own pace, right? If I'm making you hyperventilate because I'm breathing too fast, or if I'm making you hold your breath because I'm breathing too slow, you can go your own rhythm. That's okay. So I'll just start to count. It's going to go in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got this 5 in, 5 out ratio. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to speed it up to a 3-second in, 3-second out ratio. So here it is. In, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, round the back, 2, 3. Ribs forward, 2, 3, round the back, 2, 3. Shoulders back, 2, 3. Hunch the back, 2, 3. In, 2, 3. Nose down, 2, 3. Nose up, 2, 3. Last one, 2, 3. All right, this next one, same thing, same movement, but it is a little bit more vigorous. It's in for a second and out for a second. If you're trying to relax after this and calm down and take a nap, you might skip this higher intensity segment, okay? It's only gonna be 30 seconds, 45 seconds, something like that. So it's not a long time, but if you're trying to calm down, you might not wanna rile yourself up with this particular practice. If you're trying to gain some energy, and we'll cycle, right? We'll do a calming breath in a moment here as well. So you might be able to come back down off of it, but here's the movement. It's in, out, in, extend, out, bend, in, out, in, out, join to your capacity, out, in, out, in, out, in, 8, in, 7, in, 6, in, 5, in, 4, in, 3, in, 2, in, one more, in, and out. All right, you can take your hands off the wall, sit up nice and tall. If you're on the floor, you can kind of sit back on your bottom, come out of the cat-cow posture. I like my feet together and just kind of, this is my resting state, but you could cross the legs as well. Just find a more comfortable posture for you as you recalibrate your breathing. So in through the nose, Might be 7 or 8 seconds in, I don't know. And out through the mouth. Settling, settling, settling. Kind of the recentering, right? Reach that homeostasis. Your brain, you might need to yawn, right? Give it a good yawn. All right, when you feel a little bit more regulated there, start to rock, weight shifting just to get the blood flowing through the body again. All right, I'm gonna do another one on my hands and knees. It looks a little bit different though. I would say the closest thing this would be called child's pose, but I don't want to call it that because I'm going to do it slightly my own way. So nice wide wide knees, and you put your hands on your ground in front of you, just like before, just like the cat-cow, right, with the spine. Except I'm going to walk the hands forward just a little bit, and then I'm going to pull back. Now, I'm not worried about my bottom sitting back down on my ankles, okay? That's really uncomfortable for some people. You could bring your forehead to the ground, but that's really uncomfortable for some people, right? And I don't want you to do it if it's a dirty floor. So if it's comfortable, go for it. Find some level of comfort. Now, I get a little bit of pressure in my knees, so that's normal, right? The weight is pushing down on them. If there's pinching pain, then maybe change this one. Maybe get a pillow to put under your knees, or a blanket, okay, or some kind of dowel, right, to straddle instead of pressing your knees straight into the ground. You can kind of rest your pelvic area down on a pillow, for example. So the idea here is we find length in the spine as we pull back, breathing in, and then we exhale, kind of just coming out of it a little bit. So I'm going to breathe in as I pull back, and exhale, kind of coming up out of that. Now, if you want your knees closer together, that's fine with me. You can modify this. You can have your hands wider and your knees narrower. Pull back, and exhale, coming back up. Pull back, breathing in, and exhale, coming back up. So a few things are happening here. We're getting our shoulders to rise, so our collarbone is rising. We're finding a little bit of length in the spine. Our lats are stretching out a little ways. And I'm not pulling so hard that I'm going to strain something, right? It's just pulling back as we breathe in to create some length in the body. And again, I'm not worried about the bottom touching the heels. There's no magic that happens from a certain range of motion here. It's just the practice of movement paired with breathing. So pull back and breathe in. Now, if you're seated in a chair, it'll look a little bit different, but fairly similar. Okay, so edge of the seat again, and I'm going to put my hands up high on the wall, right? Then as I breathe in, I'm going to not really drag my hands in. I almost said drag my hands down, but what I'm really doing is I'm pushing my chest closer to the wall, and that'll kind of, in relation to my back, it'll do something similar to the folks that are on the floor, okay? So as I'm this is sort of my resting state, right? I'm going to inhale and push my shoulders a little bit closer to the wall. Exhale, come out of it. Inhale, just a little bit closer to the wall. Exhale, come out of it. And your elbows might rest on the wall. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to push so hard that you're getting pinching in the shoulders, right? If you have a recent shoulder injury, listen to your doctor on what you're supposed to do or not supposed to do. Listen to your physical therapist on what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. I haven't evaluated you, so I can't tell you that kind of stuff. So if you need to modify, please modify. Know your own limits and safety. If you bring your hands down a little bit more, however, that might be more comfortable for those folks that are uncomfortable with the hands up really high. So down and wide, And then you would slide your bottom back a little bit more in your chair and breathe in and lean forward. Exhale, come off. Breathe in and lean forward. Exhale, come back. So you choose what you like. I really like the floor one myself because I like that stretching of the spine as we find length and pull. But you can get a similar effect at the wall here. Kind of pushing the sternum forward toward the wall as you breathe in. And I almost feel some sort of stretch back here actually in my mid to upper back when I do that at the wall. When I do it at the floor here, I'll tell you what, it's a different movement, but it's a very similar sensation for me. Coming back, breathing in. A few more here. 1. If you need a break, take a break. Don't overdo it. Come back. 2. And last one. Deep breath coming back. Coming on up. Let's make sure our shoulders are moving okay, right? Roll the shoulders a few times in both directions. Shoulders are vulnerable, right? They're very vulnerable joints. They have a lot of mobility and not a lot of stability. So if there's ever a direction that pinches, back off, right? You don't want to pinch things in there and have a longer recovery. Okay. Next up, this one's actually just kind of sitting. So in a chair, this one does not matter if you're facing a wall, so we can come off the wall now, or if you're still facing it, that's fine, but you don't need to be. So this one is a movement pattern with our arms. I'm just gonna get that out of my way a little bit here. You can do this seated on the floor or seated in a chair. And what I'm doing is I'm bringing my feet together if you're on the floor. If you're sitting in a chair, you just want nice wide feet like this. Nice wide feet, nice wide knees, okay? Because we're gonna do a movement pattern with our arms where we scoop up. Palms come together in the center. Now in the West, sometimes we call this prayer palms, but traditional yoga doesn't call that prayer palms. Anyway, you can call it whatever you like, I don't mind. And then we come apart with our palms up. And then exhale, our hands down sort of in our laps again. Now, if you're on the ground, it'll make more sense if you're coming down to your lap. But then we scoop up again and breathe in. Exhale, palms front and center. Breathing in, stretching apart. And exhale the hands down in your lap. Now, if you're on the floor, I'm going to lean forward a little bit as I scoop up. If you're on the chair, that's fine with me. Just make sure you're not straining your low back. So scooping and breathing in. Palms together, exhaling down. Let me demonstrate the same thing on the floor here. Okay, feet together, scoop as we lean forward, breathing in. Exhale to the center. Open the chest as we pull apart, breathing in. And the hands come in front of right in the palms, right in front of the body here, palms up kind of in your lap area, okay? Scoop forward and breathe in. Palms in front of the sternum. Breathing in as we stretch apart. Exhale back to the center. Scoop and breathe in. You could do this with cross legs. Exhale, palms front and center. Breathing in, stretching apart. Nose up, that helps to open up the airway. Exhale, palms up, right in front of the lap. I'm gonna do 2 more cycles here. Scoop and breathe in. Palms front and center. Breathing in as we pull apart. And exhale, palms up in the lap. Last cycle here, scooping and breathing in. Exhale, palms front and center. Breathing in, stretching apart. And exhale, palms up in the lap. All right, recalibrate your breathing. Roll the shoulders left and right a little bit here. And like I've said, this is a yoga-inspired breathing class, but we do borrow some things from Qi Gong, Qi-Gong. I teach Qi Gong classes a couple times a week as well. Anyway, from that we get a lot of this movement paired with breathing, stretching as we breathe. And so this next move is a lot like that. I'm going to have my either feet down and knees up, and you can reach as we twist the spine, like so, getting some rotation in the spine. You could have your feet together, right? The legs are not critical here. This is about rotating the spine and getting a small reach on the arms. If it's bothering your shoulder, like I said, shoulders are very mobile, not very stable. So if they're pinching and it's being a problem, don't reach. Just turn, keep the arms in at the sides, and that's fine. Okay, just get a spinal rotation. That's okay. You can do cross legs as well. If you're sitting in a chair, I usually just do this with my feet forward and I turn, right? Don't hit your elbow on the back of your chair. We don't want to hit the funny bone. And so yeah, this is very Qi Gong style yoga, which is a little bit of a fusion. So hopefully I'm not offending anyone with that, but I think it's exciting to blend things together. So here we are, breathing in, taking the best from everything. Exhale and unwind. Left hand pulling back, breathing in. Exhale, unwind. Right hand pulling back, breathing in. Exhale, unwind. And it doesn't matter to me which side you're on, by the way. Circling and unwind. Twist, one more on each side. Unwind. Last one here. And unwind. All right, again, roll the shoulders, move the spine a little bit here. Okay, our next breathing type. This is a 3-part breath where we fill different chambers, right? We have been filling different chambers of the upper body with air, but it's stomach first, then ribs, then we rise with the shoulders. So collarbone last. So stomach, ribs expand, then this kind of upper chest collarbone area. It is challenging to do the next part for myself. The next part, you exhale in reverse order. So it's, for me, no problem feeling the stomach, ribs, rise high. It can be challenging for myself anyway to deflate the shoulders, ribs, and then stomach. Okay, I kind of did it there on my first try, but I don't always get that lucky. So maybe it's all the practice. Anyway, stomach, ribs, collarbone rises, collarbone down, ribs, stomach deflates. Okay, so aim for that pattern. And then after I don't know, a handful of times, we'll ditch that method and we'll deflate all together. So we can kind of maybe explore the difference. And this can be done in almost any posture. So sitting in a chair, sitting on the floor, however you like. Okay, get into a fairly comfortable sit posture. I'll stay here on the chair so you can see me like this. Okay, so stomach fills, breathing in. Ribs, collarbone rises. Deflate, ribs, stomach. Stomach fills, ribs fill, collarbone rises. Deflate, ribs deflate, stomach deflates. And it doesn't have to be 3 separate breaths, right? This is kind of more round and circular and continuous. It's just when I'm describing things, I have to pause. But here we are. Stomach, ribs, collarbone, collarbone, ribs, stomach. Coming back in, stomach, ribs, collarbone, shoulders deflate, ribs, stomach. Okay, if that didn't make sense, try this now and see if you notice a difference. You may or may not. It's possible. So this is now filling the stomach, the center core, the ribs, and the collarbone, just like before. But when we exhale, we just kind of let it all out at once, right? So maybe you'll see a difference. We'll draw a difference between the last practice and this one. So it's stomach, ribs, collarbone, just like before, but when we exhale, we don't reverse the order. We just deflate the whole thing. So here we are. Stomach, ribs, shoulders rise, let it all out. And I'd recommend either a pressurized breath, like you're blowing out a candle 3 feet away, or you're blowing up a balloon, so you're bringing your lips a little bit closer together and creating some pressure with that exhale, or an ocean breath where you make a large hole in the mouth, a large opening, you go, ah, right? And a larger opening is a larger airway for a faster exhale. So I'll do both of those, and you don't have to identify which one's which, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about here, hopefully. Stomach, ribs, shoulders come up, pressurized breath. Like I'm blowing out a candle. Stomach, ribs, collarbone up, ocean breath. So it's a hot breath. It's like you're fogging up glass in front of you. Stomach, ribs, collarbone up. You decide which one you like for the exhale. Stomach, ribs, collarbone up. I like both. Stomach, ribs, collarbone up. 2 more. And 1 more after this. Stomach, ribs, collarbone up. Here's our last exhale. All right. If you're getting dizzy and lightheaded, hopefully we can avoid that next time. It's hard to know your own limits, right, on these breathing patterns before you try them. So if you notice yourself getting dizzy, lightheaded, headachy, kind of recalibrate your breathing. Go with your own breathing rhythm, not just mine the whole time next time. All right, weight shifting, wiggling the hips here. Roll the wrists, roll the shoulders. We just want to keep the flow through the body, right? And we're just about done. I'm actually going to end with a little bit more of a settling breath, a calming breath. They call it a relaxing breath. There are 3 different parts to it, like what we just did, stomach, ribs, and shoulders. But this isn't parts of the body. This is 3 parts to the breath. So it's more of a rhythm, okay? So we breathe in for 4 seconds, or 4 counts. We hold our breath for 7 seconds, or 7 counts. And then we exhale for 8 seconds. So 4, 7, and 8. Keep in mind, right, if you're exhaling for 8 and inhaling for 4, you've got to slow down your exhale. You can't let it all out the same rate that you inhaled. So part of the calming might be gas exchange, right? The 7-second hold kind of gets the lungs to swirl around and get the oxygen and carbon dioxide and probably other stuff, whatever else is in there, to meld, and then we exhale. That could help with the calming, but it could also be simply the focus and distraction, right? Calm can come from distraction, so it could be that we have to count, right? And it's hard to think about everything else in the world while we're counting this out. So I'm going to do my best to count as we go here, 5, 6 rounds maybe, and then I think we'll be just about done at that point. So here we are. Sit however you like. You could even lay on your back. You can sit back in the chair for this one. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Deep breath in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. See how you're feeling. Observe the body. Are you feeling heavy and grounded, right? That can be good. Or are you feeling light and airy, right? Energized. So, and that can kind of help to guide you on how you like to do your practices in the morning, in the evening. For me, right, I don't want to alert myself in the evening. So I don't want to do as many like those forceful in and out, those 1 second in, 1 second out breaths. Those are very stimulating. The only time you would do that in the evening is if you're trying to do it to the point of exhaustion, right? You're trying to wear yourself out. And even after that, you would want to do a calming breath, like the 4 in, 7 second hold, and 8 out. And then for the morning, if you're trying to get out of bed and stuff, you might start with the calming breath and make it a little bit more alerting, and then, so different tools to practice with. Hope you guys enjoyed the session. I did. I get a lot out of it every time, so thank you guys so much for being a big part of my motivation to do this. I know we don't always do things for ourselves. I should, but I don't always. So thank you for being a great reason to do these breathing exercises. If you would like to help spread this channel to other people who might also enjoy these videos, go ahead and click the like button and the subscribe button, and you're even welcome to share the videos on things like Facebook or emailing them to friends and family. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have an awesome day. Take care.